Hello, everyone. Hi, it's Sharise Johnson Moore's podcast. How are you doing again today? All right, come on now. This next segment is called Think About It Sunday. Our topic today is relationships, the good, bad, and the ugly. Okay? So, I want you to think about some good things and some bad things that you might have been through, because I sure definitely will share some with you, okay? But we all take these things as a learning lesson. So let's all learn together. Let's do it together. Let's grow together. Let's move forward together. Come on, ladies. Let's do this, okay? So, relationships, the good, bad, and the ugly. On Think About It Sunday. Come on, ladies, let's talk. Hello, everyone. How are y'all doing today? I am back. I am back with another episode of Think About It Sunday. Think About It Sunday. And my title for this episode is Relationships, Good, Bad, and the Ugly. Sometimes we can get in relationships with people that we have rushed to get into them. We are rushed to get into everything. We don't take our time. We really don't take our time to get to know the person. And sometimes that causes us a lot of grief later on down the road. So, like I said, relationships, good, bad, and the ugly. Okay. I'm also recording for purposes of my podcast. So if you see this little black thing here, that's my boom mic. So I wanted to say, has there ever been a time in your life where, because of past relationships, that you didn't take your time to get into? That you didn't take your time to really evaluate the person that you were involved with? You didn't take your time to really, really, really deeply get to know this person. Oh, it's love. I've never had a man before. He treats me so good, da da da. And then some things go on down the road and they change. Sometimes they change because we're not paying attention. We're not paying attention to the person that we are with. We're not paying attention to ourselves, our own emotions. We're so ready to get involved with this person that it has this effect on us, as where we say, okay, I love this person, and it ain't been 6 months yet. But my thing is that sometimes you have to take your time in a relationship. I remember one time I was dating this young man, and perfect person, total gentleman. We were honest, loving, kind, everything. It was perfect. Okay, but the only thing, hello, Dinimani. How you doing, Dinimani? How you doing? My name is Sharise Johnson Moore, and welcome to Think About It Sunday, where we talk about today is the topic of relationships, the good, bad, and ugly. So, I was in this relationship, and he was perfect gentleman. Everything was fine. Everything was good, right? But it was me. At the time, my mind was not in the frame of mind of being with somebody, because I had been let down. I hadn't been taught how to be in a relationship with a man, okay? And I thought that I could do whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted, how I wanted, when I wanted, regardless of if I was in a relationship with the person, okay? But what I've learned is you can't do that in a relationship. The older I got, I realized something about me that I had to compromise. I had to get into the frame of mind where I could really sit down and be serious with a person. Besides thinking, you know, that I could do whatever I want. And I didn't have to think about the person's feelings. I didn't think about the person's how they felt. I didn't care how they felt. I'm gonna do what I want when I want to do it. And no, it was not like that. Because in my mind, it was at the time when I was in a relationship with this person, even though we tried like 2 times before that. And each time, on the third go round with this person says, this is not what I want. I'm not going to put up with this behavior. And this is not going to suit me. Okay. So I was thinking as a person, I said, well, okay, well, not working. And because I realized why I was not working, because at the moment in time, I had a relapse and I started getting high again, smoking crack. Okay. I'm gonna be honest with you. Okay. Relationships don't do good when the person is on drugs. Okay, they don't do well when the person is they don't be honest with themselves and actually say, look, I have a problem and I need help. Okay, and during this time, it was a point of, look, this is something I can't deal with. I can't deal with you out all night. I can't deal with you gone all day. I can't talk to you. When I call you, you don't answer. Some things that you're hanging out with the wrong people and things of that nature. So what I realized is I had to compromise. I had to compromise in the relationship to myself. Then it really dawned on me, what relationships were all about. It dawned on me where some people have standards. You have to have standards when you're in a relationship with a person. And if you don't have standards, you'll just be doing whatever you want, whenever you want, however you want with people. And some people just not gonna put up with that. Some people just not gonna put up with you hanging out all night, disappearing on them, doing drugs, and the thing is that sometimes that thing that you're doing is very detrimental to your relationship, and I learned something from that boyfriend. I learned something from him. He says, what it is, you have to get yourself together. You have to get yourself together for when you want to be with somebody. Right now, you're not together at all. You're not together mentally. You're not together physically. You're not together, spiritually. And I realized that. I realized I was not all those things, and that brought a reality to me. That brought a sense of like, what's wrong with me, and that's what I kept dealing with in relationships. What's wrong with me? Because the guy, I was so, everything stems from what you dealt with as a child, of how you deal with relationships in your adulthood. I realized that because neither one of my parents were there. My grandmother, my grandfather raised me. And the thing is, I learned some things in the relationship from my grandparents' examples that weren't quite well either. But I took it and I was like, well, okay, you deal with what you deal with. But I had to learn. You have to learn each other. Everybody's not going to be the same. Every relationship is not going to be the same. Every relationship is not going to end well. Either you're going to end up as friends, or you're going to end up as enemies, or you just go your separate ways and not communicate at all after you break up. Okay? Sometimes relationships do that. But we can't lose hope on relationships. And sometimes it when I look back over things of that particular relationship, I realized where I went wrong at. I went wrong at a whole lot of things. Okay. And I was so used to catering to the person I was with, catering, what they want, what do they need, what do And then after I give my all, and then you give what you give, and then you realize, sit back, say, wait a minute, what am I getting? Sometimes I've had relationships like that too, where I've given my all to a person, and then they drop me like hot potato. And I was like, well, what happened? What did I do? And then I realized it wasn't me. Then I realized that point where it wasn't me. It was somebody else. It was that other person I was with. It was them. And it wasn't my fault because I gave them too much too soon. Sometimes we can give relationships that we can give too much too soon in the relationship, and it does not come out well. Where that person has got that person has got this give me. They so used to receiving from you that you don't give them time to give you anything. You don't give them time to show you what they're really about, because you're in your mind, oh, we in a relationship. So I'm supposed to get when I'm supposed to receive. When I give, I'm supposed to receive something. It's supposed to be equal, And sometimes everybody has that point in that relationship where everything is not done on your time. Sometimes that's how relationships work. Everything is not all about you, And sometimes we have to get to the point where you got to sit back and say, okay, maybe I should need to slow down. Maybe I need to give it a break. Maybe I need to stop giving so much too soon, and then the old tried and true is this theory is so true. If you want a man's attention, take your time and take your time with the relationship. Really, really, really slow down and take your time. Because if you want to end up marrying, you maybe want to marry this person, you have those ideas. Sometimes it's called the 7-year itch. You could date for 7 years. You could date for however long. And then, it's this thing of, okay, is this person suitable for me? Is this person kind to me? Is they loving? Is they supporting? Um, what are the qualities that they bring to the table? And then you also have to have, what do you bring to the table? Yeah, ask yourself that too. What do you bring to the table? Because sometimes we get to a table and we ain't got nothing to offer nobody. We don't have nothing. We not standing on our own 2 feet. We don't got our own place. We don't have a car. We don't have certain things. We don't have the nice lavish bank accounts. We don't have. We're working. Some of us are working 9 to 5, and we got to pay bills for our rent and things of that nature, and it's like, what kind of value can you bring to the relationship? I had to tell my son this one day. I said, from a woman's perspective, no woman wants to deal with a man that does not want to work, and you got to sit around and take care of him. It's not gonna work. Women nowadays, some women, I'm gonna say some, because we still got some like that, that sit around and take care of men, and the men don't do nothing. Okay, that ain't gonna work, because you want to level up in the relationship together. And if this person, you want to level up, like say you don't have no car, both of you, you don't have no car, right? Say you don't have a car, okay? But the woman, she wants a car. She wants a car, right? And she's sitting there saving her money. She sits down and has this conversation with her man, right? She said, baby, why don't we work on trying to get us a car? Okay, cool. Okay. They sit down, make an agreement. Okay, make an agreement and things of that nature. And she's working and he's staying at home and not doing nothing. Some of them sitting at home drinking all day. Some of them smoking weed all day, and that ain't gonna work. Okay, that is not gonna work. Sometimes some things, or you might be dealing with somebody that might you never know, a person might have mental issues, and they are so withdrawn from the world because of their issues. They do not know how to function in the world. They do not know how to function as a person that's stuck. Okay. And say, like I say, you go into a relationship, okay, you try to have goals and what you're going to be here in 5 years, what you're going to be in 10 years, what kind of cards we're going to lay out on the table, what cards are we going to play, okay? Just like spades, okay? So, and the thing is that don't no man want a lazy woman either, okay? Don't no man want a lazy woman. She don't cook, she don't clean, she don't wash clothes, she don't do nothing. And it's like, wait a minute, who is this person? You go to that, it go both ways now. You go to people's house, you get to know them, y'all start going to each other's house, right? And you go to a person's house, they got clothes piled up in the corner, they got dishes in the sink, they got empty bowls and plates everywhere, cups and things of that nature. So the thing is that sometimes it's a thing of, look, how clean are you? Sometimes it's just obvious stuff sitting in your face, because don't nobody want to live in a rat trap, okay, or roach motel, okay. I don't think anybody want to do that, and that has a bearing on the relationship, because I'm not just looking at you as a sexual partner. Sex is a plus, but sex can't be the only thing in a relationship. Sex can't be the only thing that's oh yeah, sex is good, sex is great, yeah, okay. But what else do you got? It goes both ways. What else do you have? What else can you do? Can you cook? Can you clean? Can you make a bed? Can you go out and make a living? Can you and if you're and do you have the fortitude and the mindset to think ahead like 5 or 10 or 20 years? Can you think about those things? And sometimes those things are, what are you bringing to the table? Then I had this other relationship. I got married one time. And I got married for all the wrong reasons. I got married because I wanted to get out the house away from my grandparents. And when I did that, that wasn't cool. That wasn't cool at all. Because I was running away from something. I should have stayed right where I was at. And I didn't realize that in that relationship, me running, I didn't realize how much I was looking for my husband to. I met my husband 3 months before my birthday. I said 3-4 months before my birthday. And then we got married on my birthday, right? Then I realized I had put so much responsibility on him that he's gonna take care of me. He's gonna do this for me. He's gonna do, because he was in the Navy, right? And I didn't realize how much debt he was in when I married him. Okay, and by him being in this debt, he was not able to take care of me. So, me as a young person, not being taught how to. I was taught how to live on my own. I was taught how to pay bills. My grandma taught me all these things, but I never used these necessities for myself. I never thought outside the box of, what I got to do to pay rent, what I got to do to pay, what I got to do. I got to go find a job. I wasn't, quite used to that. So my thing was, I ran back home. And the thing was that I put so much responsibility on him that I thought he was ready to take care of me, and he mentally wasn't. He mentally wasn't, and he wasn't financially. He wasn't. Okay. And sometimes when we come to the table expecting somebody to take care of us, we get sadly disappointed. Sometimes we get sadly disappointed, or sometimes we get God sends us the right person at the right time when God says, okay, this is the person for you. That's why I said this morning in my morning word and worship program was that it's good to be a virtuous woman. Where she got her own money, she has her own bills, she's taking care of herself, she's got her own place, she's doing things for herself, she's not sitting idly by and then saying, chase, or we get them ones where we working, but we chasing after some dudes. You chasing after me. Don't chase after no man. And men stop and don't chase after no woman. If that person is for you, the person is for you. Don't, cause they look good and their body shaped all pretty and they got a big booty and all that. Don't. It's more to a relationship than what the person look like, and you want him as an arm piece, okay? Or you want him as an arm piece. Oh, he look good, girl. He fine. He this, And let me tell you, ladies, this: just because he's older than you, does not mean he know how to be a man. Okay, he still might have some little boy tendencies. Okay, a little boy tendencies. Okay, well they might might got mama issues. Mama did everything for them, or they were never taught. They didn't have a male role model or father figure in their life, and some men and think of it as women too. Well, they don't have their mothers or their fathers in their life, and they don't know how to be they don't know how to be an adult. Well, they have been babied so much or taken care of. You got to think about these things when you come into a relationship. What are you bringing to the table? What do you have? What are you bringing? And where do I see you in my life? And what are you contributing? What are you doing in your life? What was you doing in your life before you met me? And are you going to continue to do them? That's why I talk about virtuous woman. Who can find a virtuous woman? She's more than price. She's more than the price of rubies. She is a valuable woman. So, men, find your virtuous woman. I ain't been the perfect person all my life. Where I've done some things in my life where I'm not proud of. But my thing is I had to grow up. Sometimes it's about the person growing up in the relationship. Be grown. Where do they mindset at? Where do they see themselves? Where are they at in life? So ugly. Good, bad, and the ugly. The ugly part is when you get with somebody and becomes abusive and you think that the person loves you. That's the ugly part of relationships sometimes. Where you think in your mind, ladies, that because this person is beating on you because you've seen your mother go through it, you've seen your aunties go through it, you've seen numerous women in your family go through it, and it's not just the women. Men have been abused too as kids, where they get beat all the time, fathers beating on them all the time, or the mothers beating on them, and they might have been, their parents might have been alcoholics or drug addicted or whatever, and they just repeated this cycle in their life. They repeated this cycle. And sometimes you get in a relationship with somebody and they can't handle a situation and they strike out at you. I've had to deal with that in my marriage too, my first marriage, where I had to deal with his mental instability. And with his mental instability being there, it was like, wow, I didn't realize I was dealing with this type of person where they can't handle life. And then it's this thing of, I'm going to blame you. I'm blaming you. I'm blaming you for all my failures. I'm blaming you for everything that didn't work out for me. I'm blaming you. Since you came into my life, there is nothing happened good, nothing positive, nothing is going on. And then you're sitting there like, wow, like, wait a minute. I didn't tell you to have all this, and I'm sitting there thinking, I came into your life and you already had this debt. Because the military don't play that. The military do not play you on anybody. So you'll turn around, you'll end up not having a check. And because you are not having a check, you turn around and then you're I realized this because my husband was fighting all the time, fighting on trip, fighting getting at you, being young, dumb, and then going out here getting in a whole bunch of debt. And then when I came into his life, he didn't tell me all these things. So I found all these things as we have progressed during our marriage. And, and the thing was, is we got together and I didn't realize that. And later on down the road, I found out some things that I ain't like. And then he blamed me for them. And I was like, really, I can't be responsible for your actions. I can't, when you get when you get into a relationship with somebody, what kind of baggage are they bringing with them? What kind of baggage are they bringing with them? Are they bringing a satchel? Are they bringing a carry-on? Or they carrying a full load, a full set of luggage? Okay? Are they carrying a full set of luggage? You got to realize what kind of stuff are they bringing in a relationship when you with somebody. And can you deal with that luggage? Can we sit down and unload some of this luggage? And I've tried that in relationships, but sometimes that don't work because the person wants to hold on to the past, and that's where they're living, and they don't want to let go. And once you realize that with that person, where you're trying to help them with their mental issues become yours. Okay? Sometimes we got to be careful who we get involved with, because sometimes their issues can become your issues, and you didn't have none of these issues before you met them. You wasn't depressed, or you wasn't anxious, and you wasn't thinking of killing yourself. You wasn't thinking of things like that, And I've dealt in my younger life. I've dealt with those issues of mental illness when I was younger, like 16, 17. But my thing is, I had to understand. I had to seek the therapy to get what I had to get, and I've been holding on to so many things, and then finally felt the walls caved in on me, and I had to go seek therapy. Sometimes we got to work. We got to get ourselves together before we turn around and want to be with somebody. We can't just, this person is looking good. They got a lot of money. Okay, whatever. Sometimes you got to do a self-evaluation on yourself for y'all jumping in these relationships. Because if you jump from one person to the next person, you're going to take that luggage right on with you to the next person. You're taking all your problems with you to the next person. And then when you get a good person, you don't know how to treat them. Back to what I was saying. You don't know how to treat them because it's a thing of, I'm bringing all this stuff with me and I want to unload it on you. And I think you're supposed to help me carry this load. And it's like, oh no, I'm not ready for that kind of trip. I'm not ready for that kind of trip. I got to worry about, I got to protect me, Then once I became saved and I accepted the Lord into my life, I realized a lot of things I was doing, I was my own worst enemy. I was my own worst enemy in the relationships. I was my own worst enemy to myself because I didn't know how to love myself. I didn't know how to treat myself. Sometimes we got to learn how to treat ourselves. And sometimes that's why it's good sometimes us to be alone. Alone to really get yourself together. Really stop, it's this thing. Stop trying to jump from one person to the next person just so you won't have to deal with you. Come on now. So you don't have to deal with you and your issues. You want to jump from one person to this person to that, because I know I was one of them, jumping from this person to that person, thinking, ain't nothing wrong with me, ain't nothing wrong with me, ain't nothing wrong with me. Okay, how wrong was I? So my thing is, work on you sometimes. When it comes to a relationship, have a relationship with yourself. Have a relationship where you're about you. It's nothing selfish about that. It's nothing selfish about you trying to work on you. Okay? There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing at all. You have to work on you. Sometimes it's good to be alone. Give yourself time to think. Give yourself time to plan. Give yourself time to execute. Give yourself time to get it together for you before you can step to a table to attend or to have a relationship with someone else. Sometimes it's good to just sit and meditate and enjoy yourself in the morning where you are alone and you and God can have a conversation. And you want to talk to somebody, talk to God. Talk to God. Because I know I've had plenty of conversations with him myself. Talk to him, because sometimes you think about all the stuff you done been through, all the stuff you've been through in your life. Sometimes it's called, I need some peace in my life and I'm going to get it. And sometimes that peace can draw the peace that you have upon you, can draw in the right person, God has for you. But you got to love yourself. If you don't love yourself and show yourself love, Ain't nobody else gonna love you. Ain't nobody gonna. If you got so much negativity coming out your mouth, if you got negative ways, if you got everybody got time for all that. Because that's a lot of strain on a relationship. That's a lot of worrying on a relationship. That's a lot of, it's a lot of things where you have to come to pass, where things have to coincide, coincide, coincide. Okay, so sometimes that's how we got to do in relationships with ourselves. We got to do. We got to take care of us first before we jump off. See, when we take care of ourselves, we make room for what God has to bring to us. When we love ourselves, it makes us, it, it puts us more in value of what we're worth. It puts more perspective on what we're worth. It puts more perspective on what we bring into the table, and we cannot take that for advantage. We can't get enough of self-love. And self-love shows how much respect you have for yourself. What you will put up with, what you won't put up with, what you'll compromise for in a relationship. So take these things that I might have, I've said, and maybe apply them to your life. Find yourself first. It's all about loving yourself first. So get to loving yourself, and God will do the rest. You can't rush God's process when He sends you someone for you. I want to thank you for coming and listening to Sharise Johnson Moore's podcast. And the topic for today is Think About It Sunday. And it's called Relationships, Good, Bad, and the Ugly. Some things teach us how to love ourselves. Sometimes we go through things that will teach us how to love ourselves, teach us how to grow, teach us how to be intertwined with ourselves, be intertwined with someone else. Some things are learning lessons. Everything is a learning lesson, from the good, bad, and the ugly, and before we jump into relationships, think about your self-care. Think about what your heart deserves. Think about what you desire, what you have a desire for. Take those desires to God. Take that thing you have. Take that what you want out of relationship to God, and God will bless you. I want to thank everyone for listening today, and I will see you next Sunday for Think About It Sunday. Y'all have a blessed day now. You hear? Bye, babies.